and welcome back to this week's video. If you're not sure who I am, my name is Tracy Mayhew and I'm the author of several contemporary romances and YA fantasy fiction. Now, if you've watched last week's video, you'll know that I'm kind of getting back into my writing routine and filming YouTube videos again after an extended break. I think I was not doing anything between mid-August to mid-September. So it's only been these last couple of weeks that I've been trying to get back into some sort of routine with my writing and with filming. And I thought it would be a good idea this week to talk about what I'm using and how I'm getting back into that routine. Excuse me. So the first thing that I've been using a lot of are watching YouTube videos. So I've been watching a lot of Heart Breathing's videos, and I recently found another author tuber called Emma Bennett, who I've also been watching a lot of her videos, which has been really useful in inspiring me with writing process and planning and things like that. So I will link both of those videos, both of those YouTube channels down below, so that if you feel so inclined to go and check them out, please do. They're both excellent YouTubers. I've also been watching I've also found a productivity YouTuber called Ali Abdaal, who, as I say, talks about productivity and how to stop procrastinating, which is probably part of my problem as well sometimes. Oh, thanks, Susan. Sorry, I've got Sue here, my cat, and she's wanting some attention. So I'm stroking her now. So she's hopefully going to settle. But yeah, his YouTube videos have been very helpful and have actually led me to some of the tools I'm going to talk about today. So I will also link his videos down below as well. And incidentally, he has a productivity book coming out at the end of this year that I've also pre-ordered, and that might be good if you're looking for information about productivity. So check that out as well. Another thing I've been doing a lot of is reading. So I've been reading. This was the first book that sort of got me back into thinking about writing again, and this is called Winter at the Dog and Duck. I really enjoyed this. There will be a full review of this and the next book I'm about to talk about next week in my What Am I Reading for October videos, so I will let you know what I thought of this book. But it has been very interesting. It has been very inspiring for me and just reminded me of what I want to achieve at the end of my life for my writing journey, be a published author, writing these books that are perfect for escapes and stuff like that for the readers. So that was one book that's helped me. Another book is Skander and the Unicorn Thief. Skander and the Phantom Rider. This is the sequel to Skander and the Unicorn Thief, and that has been really helpful to get me back into it and just escape. Like, if I need a break from my own writing, this has been a perfect escape for that. And again, I will review this book next week as well. So more to come on those two books. Another book, a couple of books that I've been looking at recently are to do with business side of things. So I've picked up The Diary of a CEO. I knew Stephen Bartlett anyway from Dragon's Den, because I'm a massive fan of that in the UK. But Ali Abdaal, in his YouTube video, also does a video, like a review of this book as well. So that sort of reminded me that this book was coming out. So I went and downloaded that from watching Ali's video. And another book that I've got on my Kindle, which I haven't got here unfortunately, is called SEO for Authors. And that was recommended by Emma Bennett on her YouTube channel, but I haven't started reading that yet. But I am looking forward to getting into that and hopefully learning how to market my books through SEO and search engines and things like that, which at the moment, I'll be honest, I don't understand. I'm hoping the book will help enlighten me about it, so fingers crossed on that one. Another thing that I've been doing a lot of recently, and I've kind of had a love-hate relationship with this, is journaling. So this is my journal that I've been using. And I've kind of tried journaling before and it's never really stuck. But after things that have been going on recently, I've kind of gone back to it again. And it's something that that has really, really helped me to clear out my mind at the start of the day, just so that I can then focus on what I need to do for the rest of the day, if that makes sense. I don't journal every day, I'm going to be honest with that. I'm not a strict, I must journal every day between this time and this time. I mostly journal when I feel I need to, if I've had a stressful day or if I feel like something that I'm going to do is going to be quite stressful. I'll journal about my feelings for that, my fears, my thoughts, get it out of my head, and then I'm able to tackle the thing that I'm worried about. If it's a chapter, or if it's something to do with the business side or something, I'm just able to get it out of my head and then focus on the actual task at hand, which I found has been really helpful. So yeah, as I say, I don't journal every day. I tried doing that, and I think that was probably part of the reason why I ended up giving it up. It became more like, oh, I have to do it rather than I want to do it, if that makes sense. So I recommend journaling for, as I say, clearing your thoughts, getting all that stuff out of your head so that you can then concentrate on other things. But I would say don't do it every day. It may be something that develops into a daily habit, but to start with, take the pressure off by not journaling every day. I also journal, actually, when I read something in, say, something like The Diary of a CEO, I journal about the thoughts I have about something that I've read about that, whether I agree with it, whether I feel that it needs challenging or exploring a little bit more. So I find that that's good for reading, like, the business side of things. So I get my head around some of the concepts I'm reading about. So I would recommend journaling as a way of sort of getting back into that routine. Another thing that I've been doing is developing an ideal writing environment. So for me personally, that means having my aromatherapy diffuser on with some essential oils going in the background. I even have it on right now to help focus my mind, help calm me down. And I will be doing a video next year about how I use aromatherapy as a writer, and what aromatherapy oils I feel are best for writers, and imposter syndrome even, and things like that. So that will be coming, and I may have a PDF that will accompany that, but I'm not sure yet. That's something I'm going to have to think about and develop towards the end of this year into next year. But part of my writing routine also includes having snacks, having some water. That's very important. I like to stay hydrated when I'm writing. Having the right tools around me. So I have a setup on my desk where I have a desk riser for my laptop, which the laptop's on now. But then, as I say, I said this in a previous video actually, I have a portable keyboard that I can then type with on my desk, so it doesn't affect my neck, which I have issues with my neck from an older car accident, but yeah, that helps a lot when I'm writing, just having that sort of layered system going on my desk. But obviously your writing routine will be different for each of us. So I mean, some people listen to music. I can't listen to music because I find it very distracting. I often end up either imagining, if it's an instrumental from, say, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, I end up imagining the scene that the music accompanied in the movie. If it's singing, if it's a song, then I end up singing along with the song. So music doesn't really do anything for me, but it might do something for you. So a lot of it is about trial and error, I think, as well. And just because something worked for you once doesn't mean it's going to work for you every time either. So, and some people use candles. I have a candle as well that I have on my desk that I light sometimes if I want a certain ambiance going on. So yeah, and I also have some crystals on my desk as well to help with the creative flow of words and things like that. So it's just finding out what works for you, and sometimes that's going to involve a little bit of trial and error. But once you have that writing routine that you're happy with, stick with it. And sometimes when I know when the aromatherapy diffuser goes on that this is the time to write now. Do you know what I mean? So it works. I think it's, whether it's placebo, whether it's mental, I don't know, but it helps me. So something like that might help you. So, another thing that's been helping for me, which again I've had another love-hate relationship with, is time blocking with Google Calendar. Because as a teacher, I work very much on a daily basis as this is my day is timetabled out and planned very, very rigidly. There's no there's no room for going over, because if you go over, then you're into the kids' lunch or you're into the next lesson or something. So when I write, I didn't want to feel that way, that kind of rigidity, that I had to be doing things at a certain time. So for many years, I didn't need to be using Google Calendar. I didn't want to be having my phone go off every sort of half an hour before the new task was due to start. So I stopped doing that. However, having seen Ali Abdaal's videos, I have come to realise that actually at this time, it might change in the future, but at this time, I think time blocking works. And as a teacher, that kind of makes sense because obviously I'm used to living by a timetable during my working day, so it makes sense to have that same timetable, but for different tasks, obviously, in my writing life as well. So at the moment, that's working really well, and I have all my. So I spend Sundays planning out my Google Calendar in conjunction with my Notion to-do list for the week, and then I just block it out, and then my phone will tell me what I should be doing when I should be doing it. It's a bit difficult because as a supply teacher, I'm not always certain when I'm working. So a lot of the time, unless I know I'm not working on a certain day, or I know that I am working on a certain day, I can't really plan. But I'm going to see how that develops as work picks up for me. Now that September's at an end and we're looking into October, work picks up, I start getting more jobs. So then I'll have to start adjusting how I do my time blocking. But I'm sure I'll be able to figure something out as time goes on. At least I'm hoping so. And if you have an Apple, if you have an Apple phone, I'm sure there's some kind of alternative you could use. I'm not an Apple user, so I don't really know what would the other option be, but I'm sure there's something you could use with a calendar system, and I'm sure there's apps out there that you can use as well. And if you do have Notion as well, you can embed. Now I'm saying this like I know what I'm talking about because I don't. I'm gonna. This is something I'm going to learn to do. But you can embed your Google Calendar into Notion. So that is something I plan to do at some point. I'm not sure when, but that's something I plan to do to help enhance my planning as well. So everything's kind of synced together. So it's easier that way as well. And I don't have to think about anything then. I don't have to think about what should I be doing because I've already done the thinking at the beginning of the week. So I find that's been helping me as well. Another thing that I do quite regularly is change up my writing location. I love my office. This is a cosy little writing nook for me. However, there are times when this office can kind of start to feel a little bit samey and a little bit like I need to get out. So when that happens, I go for a walk with my dog, Sienna. But I also make the point of, if I'm able to, I will go to the local library in the afternoon. And I'm lucky because my library is not too far from where I live. But you've got other options. You don't have to go to the library. You can go to a coffee shop. You can go to a park. I've even, a few years ago, before COVID, long ago, right back when I was writing, it was writing The Prophecies of Fate actually, but right back then I even went to write in Winston Churchill's house's gardens in Chartwell House. So you can as a writer, as long as the weather's good, you can write pretty much anywhere really. So think about, if you're struggling in one place, think about changing up that location a little bit more, especially now that the world's opened up again and we can go places. Take advantage of that because it does help, I think. And being outside, if you're in a coffee shop, you can talk to other people, and sometimes that just helps, loosen up your brain a little bit, I find, and you're a little bit more creative that way. Another thing is, and I think I've kind of touched upon planning, is planning out my social media in advance. So again, Sundays for me are planning days. So I try not to do as much writing on Sundays because I do a lot of my planning on social media planning and weekly planning on the Sunday. So that way I'm prepared for the week. So I do a lot of the graphics and things like that for my social media posts. And making sure that I'm planning ahead of time, and making sure also that my posts are geared towards what I'm writing about. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you will already know, and TikTok, although I'm learning TikTok. Let's just say we're at the beginning of a tempestuous relationship at the moment. But anyway, you'll know if you've been following me on Instagram or Facebook that most of my posts at the moment are surrounding Not Just for Christmas, because obviously that's the book I'm working on at the moment. And being able to do that and using quotes and using pictures and creating reels that are about Appleford, which is a village that it's set in, and the characters and things like that, has really helped to inspire my creativity again, and has helped me feel excited about the book again. Because when I first, a couple of weeks ago, when I first started this, I was like, oh, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get back into it so easily, that I might have lost the enthusiasm for it. But revisiting the text, the manuscript with my editing, and also doing things around social media around Not Just for Christmas has really helped to reignite my passion for the project as well. So that's a good thing. So if you are struggling with your current work in progress, I suggest that start gearing some of your social media posts to it. Start releasing quotes and things like that, reels, mood boards even. They really help. They really help you, as well as encourage more people to be interested in what you're writing about. So it's a win-win. Another thing is being active in social media. I was absent mostly. I wasn't posting during my break on social media, but I was still looking at some of the posts other people had posted, and I was commenting on their posts. And there's a whole community out there that is ready to inspire you, is ready to help create with you and things like that. So I think, being part of that community, and even if you're not able to post, being part of that community still really helps you to stay focused on your goals as a writer, I think. And it shows you that there are other people out there who are also inspired by writing, and they will help you to get inspired as well. All right, mate, you all right? Sorry, she's getting a little bit chatty. All right, do you want to go down? We'll put you down. There you go. Right, she's done. She's down now. She's happy. Yeah. Okay, so the last point I want to talk about is you have to find time to relax and not to stress out. I'm going to take those a little bit separately. So first of all, let's talk about relaxing. Relaxing is important. There's no point driving yourself into the ground thinking, I've got to do this task, I've got to do that, I've got to do that, I've got a whole to-do list, I need to get it done. No, you don't. You need to set yourself a time between when you will start work, when you will finish work. And when it hits that time for knocking off, for clocking off, that's it. You have to stop, because otherwise you're just going to end up burning out, stressing out, and it's not worth it. I've been there, I've done it, I know it's not worth it. So find things you can do to look forward to at the end of the day. For me, that has been a lot of watching TV. So I've been watching a lot of Midsummer Murders, because I love that. I've been rewatching Doc Martin. If you're a fan of Doc Martin, let me know in the comments, please. Or Midsummer Murders, let me know in the comments. I need to know if there's other people out there that love those shows. So it's just fun. Oh, and there's a Christmas channel on that's started at the moment on Sky that I've been watching a few films on that as well to keep me inspired for the Christmas vibes, which has helped me to relax. You've spend time with friends. Find something you can do to look forward to at the end of the day. If you've got a partner, spend time with them. If you've got kids, spend time with them, playing, reading with them, things like that. All that stuff is going to help. If you are relaxing, you will feel more fired up the next day to get back into the office, to get back behind the computer, to start working again, to start creating. If you are fixed on getting everything done, or fixed on the failures or what you didn't get done the day before, then you are never going to get out of that failure mindset. And we don't need that. If you're creating, you don't need to feel like a failure. You don't need to feel like you're not doing a good enough job. So relax, try not to stress about it. We're all guilty of putting too much on our plates. I am, and I find that when I get to the end of the day sometimes, especially at the beginning of this 2-week period, this is something I'm learning not to do so much. I'd put like 10 things on a to-do list, and looking back, I'm thinking I'd never have got those done. If you put 2 or 3 things on today's to-do list, and then you find out, oh, actually, I've done those, and I've still got time left, you can pick something else from later in the week to do, to bring forward. And I find that's a much more positive momentum to go forward with than thinking I didn't get half of what I planned to do done. So I would say put less on your to-do lists so that you get it done, and you might be able to bring something forward from another day, and then you'll feel much more positive about it as well. So they're just my tips and tricks for getting back into a writing routine. I hope they help you. Let me know in the comments if you're doing any of it, if any is particularly called out to you and you feel like you want to try anything in particular. And yeah, just let me know how your writing routine is going. Let me know in the comments if you're working on anything right now, if you've got a current work in progress going on. If you have, let me talk about it with me. Let me know what it is. And then I'll see you next week for my What I'm Reading in October video. Okay then, so I'll see you later. Bye.